up until now, we've only been sketching on our main three planes or grids. So for example, our top plane, our front plane, or our right plane as an example, as well as any existing planar surfaces, so any flat surfaces such as this or this, of course we could sketch on as well. But in many cases, we'll find that we need to create designs or create sketches on some more complex or additional planes as well. So taking a look at this simple bracket component as an example, to build up the basic design, maybe we could have just used our basic or initial planes to do our sketches. However, all the components shown in red may have been fairly difficult or even impossible to create without the use of construction planes. So construction planes are any other additional planes we may need to use to sketch and create on. And we can create construction planes, and we'll also learn about construction axes about pretty much any geometry. So let's start by creating that angled extrusion, or that hub, about this edge here. So to add our construction planes, let's go into Add. And here I have construction axis, we'll take a look at it in a second. Construction plane, I can add images and files as well. I'll jump into construction plane. And notice I have a whole number of different types of planes that I can generate. In this case, I'm going to take a look at through edge at an angle. It's first going to ask me to select my edge, axis, or line. So in this case, I'm going about this existing edge here. And then if I'm happy with my edge selection, I can tap Next. And then which angle about that edge I'd like to be. So I can change my angle, I can see about that edge however I would like. In this case, I'm going to throw in maybe -60 degrees. And now we can see that that was the exact angle I was hoping for this specific angled extrusion of my hub. And I can just tap Done. So now I have this new plane created, which is contained in my groups as well. So if I jump into my groups, I have group of shapes that we've just taken a look at. I also have sketches and construction geometry. And it works very similar to the group. So I have plane 01 by default, and it will come in 02, 03, and so on. But I can rename this, of course. And maybe I want to call this my angled plane, or whatever it may be, just to stay organized. Now I probably want to sketch about that plane, so again I can just do a double tap on the plane, so it will jump normal or orthogonal to that plane. And now I can just start my sketch for my extrusions. Maybe I want something like this. So just something quick and easy, like a sketch something like this for my angled hub. Now I can jump back into a bit of a 3D view here, take a look, and see I've created that new sketch on this angled plane. And of course, if I'd like to extrude it here, I can now extrude this just into my main body. We can see we can make use of, say, our union commands later on if we'd like to join these two bodies together. So now I have a hub thrown in here, completely at some given angle. Now, once I'm happy with that hub, I also wanted to mirror it kind of on the other side of my body here. But right now I don't have really any good mirror plane, so I'd like a mirror plane kind of right in the middle of my component here. So again, let's try jumping into Add, construction plane and check out my types, and I have a very useful construction plane type called the midplane. So what the midplane will do, it will ask me to select two planar faces or planes. So, for example, this face here and this face here. And now we can see that it's thrown in a midplane or a plane parallel and right in the middle of these two other parallel or planar faces. Okay. So that would be a perfect construction plane to use as my mirror plane for this hub. And happy with that, just tap the done check. And now, for example, I can use my mirror tools for this hub here about this plane. And of course I want to copy, so I have it on both sides of my component. And again, tap the done once happy with that. So you can see that otherwise without this mirror plane or construction plane, it would be almost impossible to mirror this about the middle of my object as I just had there.